The study of classics is a thing of joy. After all, we get to work with such wonderful things. Things like these ancient Athenian vases in the Kemper Art Museum, and on top of that, the literature of ancient Greece and Rome, and the history, which brings such fascination. But that joy is combined with a lot of very great practical benefits, which I thought I'd talk about some today. If we think about Greece and Rome, they give us a unique opportunity to do one of the things that any university education should do, to get us to know ourselves better and to know others better, to broaden our horizons.
Well, I think classics is important to me for two reasons. The first reason is just the experience itself, the departments, the faculty, your peers, your students. You learn a lot from them, and just generally speaking, it's a great experience to be immersed in an intellectual environment and surrounded by people who share the same passion for history and passion for antiquity as you do, and you learn from their passions and hopefully start to share in their passions and share your passions with them. And the other reason is the content of it, is having that perspective into history, into a world that too often we think of as foreign, when the reality is that it was very much like our own, and trying to sift through texts or history or mythology and trying to find the underlying humanity behind them.
The great English poet Shelley once said, "We are all Greeks." And he's right to an extent. We're all Greeks and all Romans. Greek and Roman culture have pervaded much of what we are still today. If we think of Roman law and its influence on the law of Americas, if we think about Greek science and how it still plays a role in science today. Critical thinking is something we talk often about in university education, and classics does that very well, working with objects and texts very closely, thinking about them, thinking about this very different culture and how they responded to problems similar to ours is something we can learn very well from. In fact, I would suggest Greece and Rome are especially good to think with. We can learn from the Greeks and Romans both in things they did well and help us think about our own society.
I think the skills that you get from studying the classics are invaluable. The analytic skills, the reasoning skills, and also the appreciation for history as well is something that, once cultivated, never goes away and is invaluable into the future.
Almost all of our majors are double majors, and they find, in fact, that the classics training helps them out in whatever career goal they're seeking, often with the other major and sometimes specifically with the classics major. Some of our majors are going on to teach Latin, and there's much demand for Latin teachers. But far more of them are not seeking a career specifically in classics, but using classics as part of other training to head into any field you can think of.
What I loved most about the classics department and the classes that I took was, for the history aspect, it was just studying all these fascinating people who had lived and their actions, and just sort of seeing how, even thousands of years ago, people still reacted the same, and broadly speaking, the situations were the same, and it was very fascinating to me. Additionally, the classics department, the professors here, they were brilliant at what they taught and brilliant in their research, but the thing that made them stand out to me was that they were so passionate about giving their knowledge and passing it on to the students.